Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really do appreciate it. I want to talk tonight about, I don't know, it's weekend night, you feel me? I think it might be Friday, but it also might be Saturday. Jesus Christ, I think it's maybe not even one. Anyways, it's always night, it's always night after day. But anyways, I think I just watched a movie with Liam Neeson. You feel me? I think that's the guy's name. Totally dope actor. You feel me? Like for real. If we could all only be so lucky. And for the record, I heard this dude is really cool to work with. Like low key, no cap. I heard Liam Neeson or Nelson. He's a good dude. He's the one that gets typecast. You feel me? As like the guy that always goes on these. Like he just something bad always happens to him, you feel me, and then he goes like loke, he goes crazy and he goes sort of like I don't know, it's very reminiscent of like a 90s, like thriller where something bad happens to somebody. I'm just saying, it was a movie. I'm not even sure what it was called. That's how not good it was, and it's not a reflection on him as an actor again. And the argument can be made that there's really no bad movie to be said in a conversation of bad movies where there's just some straight up action, you feel me? And Liam Neeson like kicking some ass, I think that's kind of cool in and of itself. That is dope. However, I just wanted to talk tonight about how like sometimes you watch movies and they start out really good, like they're good, and then all of a sudden it's just like, what did I just spend my time doing? And I have seen a lot of movies. I have literally gone out of my way to try and watch as many movies as I possibly can. I've also read as many books as I possibly can. There's a lot of things in life that I'm trying to check off the bucket list, but watching shitty movies is not one of them. And I just sort of like, I guess you gotta watch movies in order to understand like fully if they're good or not. And that's kind of the thing about having an opinion, is sometimes, again, like 9 times out of 10, a movie starts out really good. Recently, I'll give you an example. I seen a movie called The Game starring Michael Douglas, and it was dope. It was a really good movie for like a good hot minute, like 2/3 of the movie. I was like hooked, it was a good movie, had a good story going, and then all of a sudden it got really weird, like too weird. Like it was just not even at all about what it was, about. And that was a movie made in the 90s. And so, film and movies have been dealing with this problem for a long time, starting something out cool and then finishing out with a bang. And I guess that's why there's only so many really good movies that we all know of and that we have all seen, regardless of what year we were born. If that's like in last century or this one. I mean, there's a lot of movies that can arguably define American culture. And what's interesting is that some of them are performed by actors that aren't even American. Obviously the biggest example being I'll be back, and it's always fun saying that, right? We all know where that comes from. We all know who says it. We all know what the guy looks like. I mean, it's just pretty interesting. And the Terminator is obviously a really, like those old ones, still vibe. You feel me? Like those movies are still good. And that's why, again, people that aren't very old have seen those movies and or at least know about them. Even the memed references from the dialogue in the movie. And so there's such a thing as good storytelling, whether you find it in books or in a vlog or in a movie. There's always a proper opening, there's always a proper meat to the substance that the opening is provided, and then ultimately there's got to be some kind of either captivating sort of conclusion or just a conclusion that properly addresses the aforementioned things that we've talked about to make it that kind of structure, and I think it's too far in between, and I think we're also more capable of telling better stories. This one story that was told in this movie that is free on YouTube, and again, it's just no hate on Liam Neeson again, because Taken is the movie that he is known for. Obviously not American. That's what I'm saying. Huge American movie star and so forth. But where do you think that accent's from? I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't want to guess. The English people don't like it when you guess where they're from. Maybe he's not even English. You see, that's what I'm saying. Should we say European? I'm not sure. But good, talented actor. Terrible movie. It was something that took place in the snow and involved him being typecast as that protagonist that he is or was in the movie Taken, where his daughter gets taken and he goes on this rampage to get her back. I don't even know how that movie ends. I've seen the second one. I'm assuming that things ended well enough for there to be a second one. I did not know that there was a third one. And so it's just that lack of creativity, you feel me? And that, like, it's hard to find stuff regardless of where it is, in media that isn't like some hashed out shit that's already been told a million times and that you've seen a million times in all different types of ways. Again, whether it's like in a book or both, you feel me, or whether or not you're growing up in a Harry Potter generation when, like, I gotta tell you folks, that generation is long since been able to get into loads of credit card debt and help vote a fascist into American executive office. So I'm not sure how I feel about us Harry Potter kids. I'm just saying I'm one of them. I don't think we've really done the world any kind of a good service just yet, which is why we try to keep things light here on the program. I try to talk about things that you may have not, like, conventionally just kind of heard about in the open, and that's just because where else would you hear about a lot of this stuff? I mean, I have to go out of my way and live a life of solitude and complete isolation to sort of be this kind of a newsmaker, I'll tell you what. But there's something to be said about, like, creative storytelling again, and that the fact, like, that in modern storytelling, I feel like 8 times out of 10 you don't get a complete story, you feel me? And the 2 times out of 10 that you do, it's like, so profound, even if it's not good, that it's just different from the other 80% of times where it just doesn't work out. And again, like, I'm kind of disappointed that collectively speaking, I've probably wasted we're talking on, like, close to 1,000 hours of my life here. I'm safely assuming, watching things that didn't work out well for me. But I guess comparatively speaking, on the other side of things, it's safe to say that I've consumed 10 times that amount of media that I enjoy. So I guess it's just like one of those things in life, right? Like, you don't really know until you know, kind of a thing. And you can say that, like, you're a movie buff or whatever, or that, like, you're all into film, like a filmographer. I gotta tell you, I could probably hang with the best of them, man. I have really, again, gone out of my way so far as my adult life is concerned to watch as many things as I can. Again, it's very appealing to me. Again, like, I like watching stories. I like good movies, good just stories in general. And I think it's a big part of me. For me, it's why I like to read and write and stuff, and it's really why I can't read or write, if like I'm reading certain things, that kind of influences what I write a lot. So I try not to do as much reading anymore, and that's just, like, no cap, because otherwise I'd be hella into reading still. It's just maybe for about 10 years now I have decided to not read, to try, like, any books and stuff, and that's just because I'd wanted to do sort of my own thing again. And, like, it's hard to write your own stuff when you're reading a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a hell of a lot easier, and it doesn't really mess with the creative process, at least in my messed up mind, with how I come to these things, you feel me, to, like, watch a bunch of stuff and then, like, write about a whole bunch of different things. I think that's kind of way more doable for my dumbass than it is to both read and write at the same time. If that makes sense. But yeah, so you guys ever felt that way about movies? Just like, again, and you just gotta go through with it. You gotta just like watch Sharkpedo or Sharknado and like watch it from beginning to end to understand the brilliance of why so many people low key like Sharknado, I'm not gonna say that I'm one of them, but who knows, I mean, maybe if I gave it a chance, I think I have more than a handful of times, and can't quite get past the it's just a really bad movie, you feel me? Like, it really is. If you've never seen and or heard of Sharknado, I highly recommend you try and watch this movie. See how far you get into it before you would like to do anything else in the world other than watch that movie. Again, it works for a lot of people, though. There's like 5 of them. There might be more. All I know is that people have been making money, that they spend on their own lives to get by them and through them, just as a direct result of working on set as a cast member for Sharknado. So I'm just saying, like, low key, Sharknado's got a whole hell of a lot more going on than we do. And so with that, I think we'll end. Hey guys, I really appreciate y'all watching my videos. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers and, the people that come here and watch the show. I understand that life is a busy time for everyone, you feel me? And that's cool, right? I mean, life should be busy, it should be full, it should be fulfilling, all these different things. It's the holiday season. I hope that you all have the best holiday season and stuff. I don't get a chance to talk to really anyone, like personally, with the exception of just a handful of people. And so this is also a way that I use to, communicate, like, with all the people, that, like, may be in my life or not. And, it's just sort of like, I hope that you guys are doing good. You feel me? And, I'm doing what I do best, and that's this. And I'm trying to hold this bitch down, you feel me? So far as it's like staying, on schedule with posting videos, and then doing my best to try and rest, so that I can be my best good old self. And things, I think, are going to move a whole lot faster next year, and all different kinds of things that I'm doing in life, and I look forward to that. And so I've never really been in a rush to get to things that I know are inevitably going to happen, and it's just, this is the way I felt my entire life. And I just am going to continue to feel like that. It's just been the only way I know how to live, right? And so I hope that things out there are as good for you as they are for me in that way. I mean, we've talked about loneliness and being alone before, and certainly sometimes they go hand in hand. But I value being alone, and there's a fine line between loneliness and being alone. And sometimes, you feel me, it is easy to fall onto that side of that line, and I do feel lonely. And that's only natural, right? Just because there are a handful of people that I don't get to see or hear from, or and that is shitty, to say the very least, right? And so as this sort of experiment in my own life continues to move forward, just understand that I love all your faces, you feel me, and that I am absolutely doing what I need to do in life to make things better for myself, and thereby, I think in this way, a lot of what I want to do in life actually involves the mutual benefits of other people. Like, it's a mutually beneficial thing, right? Like, it's cool. And so that's kind of what I'm going with. Every time somebody watches these videos, whether or not it's this one or any of the other 380 plus that are now available, I still got, I think, around 1120 that are still not back on the channel, and those are all, again, just for very personal reasons, and that this I want to make a full-time job. Obviously, it'll require a whole bunch more people watching than just a couple hundred every week. I understand that, but like, this thing takes a long time, just like anything in life. It takes a long time to get to know somebody. It takes a long time to get to trust somebody. It takes a long time to build, the kind of relationships that you need to build. I think, with your fan base, with your subscribers, with your friends, whatever it is that you want to call it, when you decide to move forward, doing this sort of thing, and hoping that sooner than later, you're gonna, like, get paid for it, just so that you can begin to do other things and build with those kinds of resources, and not just the kind that is very fun. Again, there's more intrinsic value in this every single night, than I could ever possibly begin to sort of let y'all know about. And I love doing it. It's, again, just not the easiest thing to do, you feel me, regardless of what it is I got going on in life. If that's like no sleep for 4 days, or sleep all day for 4 days, it's just as difficult every single time. But I've dedicated my life to this, and to promoting that socialist message, and trying to help this country get into a place where we all feel a little more comfortable going to bed at night, and I just think that's a pretty relatable cause, and I think it's one that's worth fighting for, and I just can't really see anything else worth doing, I mean, not like in the larger objective sense. It's just like, there's some problems in the world, and I feel like, if we work together, we can really dutifully make a positive impact, like, now. It needed to have happened like thousands of years ago. Who knows when this shit started, you feel me? I'm just saying that, like, long overdue, you feel me? And hopefully, at least, at the very least, the end of the year and the holiday season hopefully, makes you less of a Richard than you might otherwise be throughout the rest of the year, just because, yeah, times may not be as good for other people as they are for some others. However, I do want to point out that wealth, the gap between rich and poor has literally never been wider. And this is something that your mom said, something that your grandma said. This is something that is a problem, and there has to be a point at some point where people are sort of like, it sucks so much that I want to do something about it. You feel me? That, like, maybe there's somebody out there that can sort of help transition us into what are always going to be difficult times. Yes, life's not easy, but easier times, for so many other people out there. And I think that starts with trying to rebuild a middle class, from nothing, because the middle class does not currently exist. Not here in America, not in Canada, not in anywhere else in the world, I know the Swedes have it pretty nice, and I know the Nordic sort of countries up there are living well. Shout out to Switzerland. I just it's sort of like, I think, how the whole world can sort of long term live like that, and it should not be a problem at all. But we'll see how that works out for all of us, in the future. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thank you for watching my show. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. I don't know what tomorrow is, but whatever day it is, have a really awesome day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Bye.